welcome to number 4 in the series of Miniature Heroes rambling hobby type video things. Trying to encourage you to visit the shop, spend lots of money, and so I can buy a yacht. Can't swim, but I might like it. I mean, the yachts are quite nice. I mean, you see all the rich people, they do have yachts. And, you know, they sit on them and what have you. It makes you wonder how they got time to be rich if they're always sitting on the yachts. But anyway, I digress. I'm rambling again. Here we go. We're going to try something slightly different, as I say, once again. Hopefully you enjoyed the quality of the last video. It didn't get so many views, but then Shane didn't share it on the FPM channel. And I think that's probably because I upset him. And so I am very sorry, Mr. R. I am not going to blame you for anything else. It's all completely my fault. I'm very sorry. He thinks he's my wife, you know. He's very strange. He's not been the same since FPM finished. Poor old soul. But yeah, there we go. Anyway, we're going to try and do something a bit different. I showed you last time a big Bones miniature. And I asked for comments and bits and pieces of what you'd like. And friend of the shop, Dave C, said, could you compare the Bones Black Crimson Herald to the metal version of the Crimson Herald? And I thought, yeah, this is a fair point, a good idea, because there is some confusion about Bones Black and how it all fits together. But unfortunately, I can't get a Bones Black Crimson Herald at the moment because they're currently out of stock with Reaper. They're waiting for a new shipment to come in, obviously, so once that happens. So anyway, I thought this is a good idea, though. This is a good idea. What other miniatures do I have in stock that are the same and that go over different materials? And really and truly, not much. A lot of the Bones Black range is completely new sculpts. All very brand new, all new, and, you know, stuff that isn't replicated in metal. However, there are a few crossovers, and one crossover that I had in stock is this. And Doin Thrushmore, here she is, there we are, I'll show it on the camera. And she's obviously some sort of druid shaman type. She's got a staff with a little head on it, and, well, you know, you can see the sort of thing. So that's Bones Black. That's Bones Black. She also is available as a Bonehenge Covent Iconic. Why they don't keep the main names the same, I don't know, but it's also available in metal. So we will do a little bit of a comparison, and hopefully I shall intersperse this, or perhaps put them at the end, with some comparison photos that I'm going to take close up later, and you will be able to see if there is indeed a great deal of difference in any of this. The Bones Black is very good. The Bones Black is very good. But first of all, we will do an overview of the 3 main materials that Reaper make. They do use a tiny amount of resin in a couple of miniatures, but we'll leave that out for the moment. So, first off, Bones Plastic. This is the cheapest of all 3 materials. A standard 25mm figure, say 25, I mean it's their 32 to 35 really, the heroic scale, but they're $2.73. Not quite as cheap as when they first came out. Now, this is a Bones Mummy Captain. I forget the code right now, but he's been kicking about here for quite a while, and I've tried to ink him in a bit so you can see the details. The original first generation Bones were white, as you can see by the base. The second generation that has come through, they've added a grey dye to the plastic. And so you can see the details and things better. By being grey, it does make them look very much like this. But they are not Bones Black. If it says Bones on the packet, just ordinary bones, and they're grey, they are ordinary bones. And you can soon tell because they have a very peculiar characteristic known to all modelers if you own one, and as you can bend the dash and things about. Look at that. I mean, that would kill a metal miniature. Look, I'm giving it some serious jip here. Look at that, look. Wang. I mean, these things are known indestructible. I think they're made out of some form of specialised chewing gum. But you get thin sections like this, and they are extremely flexible. I mean, you know, to the point of it gets a bit silly, really, because you're trying to paint it with a brush. Where is a brush? Here we are. Here's a brush. And you're pressing on it, and the thing keeps moving. Now, for those of us brought up on metal, that is a bit disconcerting. But 273. I mean, it's very cost effective. You can put a large amount of these on the table for not a great deal of money. And the detail's not bad. Now, I'm hoping you can see this. I'll take it up to the camera and hopefully that's doing its thing. Turn it round gently. But he's not too shabby, is he? Really? It depends what you want to do. If you are fielding an army for the tabletop, if you are transporting miniatures about and you don't want them to get broken or anything, these things are great because, I mean, look at it. You can do all sorts of things with it. You know, we can even with pliers and things. I mean, you know, it is amazing how flexible they are. If they drop off the tabletop, they're not going to break. If you, alright, the cat accidentally decides to attack some of them, it's not going to hurt them. They are nigh on indestructible, I think, these things. And they're a good cost-effective price. There's enough detail on them to be interesting, and a good painter can get some quite good results. I shall show you. Not that I'm a good painter. This is another cause for a video, you see, because somebody else also suggested, can you also share some hobby tips and bits and pieces? I mean, this is a big laugh. I am not a very good painter. I'm quite happy to admit this. I have learned a few bits and pieces along the way. I mean, I've been painting since 1984, but just haven't really got very good at it. Shane, on the other hand, who has been painting probably a little less, I think. I'm not sure when he started, but he is very good. He regularly wins gold medals and things at shows and bits and pieces like that. So maybe I will have a word with Shane if he'll talk to me again, because as I say, he's very upset. Poor chap. As I say, he's not been the same since FPM finished. Poor fellow. But I will have a word with him, and perhaps we can work out some sort of thing where perhaps he does a demonstration and I do the narration or something over it, and you know, make it look a bit more interesting than it probably is, and things like that. But anyway, Painted Bones. This is Dark Rasp. He was part of the Bones 2 Kickstarter. You can get this in metal as well. He's a priest that is obviously, well, of the other, you know, he's nasty chap. I mean, Uga walks around with a jaw scythe like that. But there again, this is painted, believe it or not. This has actually got some paint on it. It don't come off. Look, I mean, that's what I'm doing to the paint. It just sticks on. It's quite good stuff. There's been a huge argument over on the Reaper forums whether or not you should prime these things or not. Reaper say you don't need to. I'm of the opinion that if you want to make a half-decent job of anything, whether you're painting a miniature or whether you're painting a window, priming is always a good idea. It's up to you. If you want to prime it, give it a go. If you don't want to prime it, go with that. See how you get on. It's not the be-all and end-all. As I say, they're so cheap you can soon buy another one. So that is Dark Rasp. We'll put him over here. This is an elf Meg, who looks all nice and mysterious. Let's see if we can get him up there. I'm quite pleased with this. It actually come out that way. It is bones, you can see there. And again, you can bend. I mean, that would kill a metal miniature, and the paint is hanging on. They're quite good. And this is also a Bones Ogre I did. Let's see if I can get him in shot a bit better. There we go. This is 77005. It was one of the very first ones to come out. And yeah, I mean, he painted up alright. It's, you know, it's tabletop stuff. If you want to take your painting a bit further, then you've got to start looking at slightly different things. Now, after Bones, well, before Bones, the only other thing that he had was metal. And this was my preferred material. Metal miniatures is what I started on. Metal miniatures hopefully will continue for a good long time, but the metal is getting expensive. This I think is £7.31. This I think is £3.23. I think, stretching the old brain, but yeah, that's quite a bit different, really, for the same thing. So let's have a look and see what we get. We'll open the metal one first and just have a look. These will probably appear in the bargain section once I get around to doing it. You know, I quite like the miniature. I mean, I might keep it, I don't know. Look, Why do you have to get into these things? They look nice hanging on a rack, but for internet sales, blister packs are a bit of a nuisance. Anyway, here we go. Now, unusually, for a Dark Heaven Legends miniature, it comes with a slaughter base. Not many of them do. This is a peculiar thing that happens. Most DHL miniatures, or in fact 99% of them, have a solid base. The Pathfinder range and the Warlord range all come on slotters. But anyway, here she is. So let's see if we can get a good view there. It's going to be difficult because they are very bright and shiny. I will try and take some photos of this afterwards. But immediately out the box you've got cracking detail level. You've got very little in the way of mould lines, because this, if you can imagine, the mould would have gone somewhere along here, because it works into a two-dimensional plane. And that is where you would look for mould lines, and alright, there would be a classic case of where you would expect to see one. This is a very good casting. Most of Reapers are, and you just don't see much. But it's where you would start to do clean up. The hair would be a nightmare, but yeah, I can't really see a great deal of mould line things on there. You'd obviously go over it, you put your optivisor on and give it a look. But it's nice, isn't it? It's nice, it's crisp, it's there. You would prime it, and then you would paint it. So, that's that. Now, this is the Bones Black one. Let's see if we can break into this in a slightly better fashion. Yeah, it says here, ready to paint, no priming necessary. And as I say, it's caused a lot of arguments in the Reaper forum, their Facebook page and things. Priming is always something I think you should do. It provides a good base for the paint to stick. Let's get rid of that over there. So, here she is. Well, there we go. Get it in shot. So I'm looking on my little monitor thing here that I've got set up, and it's good, isn't it? I mean, the detail level is pretty darn near there. You have got with this, I think, a bit more of a mould line there, because this is made in injection mould. The plastic is heated up and forced into, I think, a steel mould, it might be aluminium, under great pressure, and that's what causes this. These are cast, of course, metal is poured into a revolving rubber mould, and the centrifugal force pushes it out and creates the casting. But, you know, for less than half the price of this, this is very good. This is very good. I shall take some close-up photos, but let us see if I can get these two together on camera like that. Now, hopefully that's picking up. This is pretty good, isn't it? It's not actually too bad. Let's do the reverse. It could be showing that, alright, the metal is a bit more difficult to see for the camera because it is so bright and shiny. But the Bones Black is nice stuff. There's a little bit ragged there, I've just noticed. I mean, you'd want to just do a little bit of filing there. But that is the beauty with this stuff over regular bones, here he is it will file. It's not going to take much. You just take a little gentle file. I mean, this is, I've had this years. It's a very fine metal file, rat tail, whatever they call it. And you just gently take off the little bits and pieces where things are pointing. Now, I've noticed here there is a slight difference. Now here, you see the antler is sticking out there a little bit more and a little bit more there. Here is a stub. There's not quite so much there. Quite possibly, for the aesthetics of painting, you might take that off completely and just leave them nice and smooth. But, you know, again, it's horses for courses. Are you going to pay $7.31 or are you going to pay $3.23 for something that hasn't, you know, it's not that much dissimilar. There's a bit of crispness that's not there, but primed up and painted, I don't think you'd see a lot of difference. I really don't. That little drooping detail is out a bit more. That could possibly come out there. I don't think it's cast on. It might be. Let's just have a look. There you go. That comes out. So that's the same. Yeah. Anduin Thrushmore. I think we can safely say that Bones Black is perhaps not quite as sharp as metal, but it is a bit of an update on these things, simply because it's not so bent. I mean, you can't bend this so much. I mean, look at that. It's a bit of flex in there, but you just can't bend it so much. And I have painted one of these. I painted the Ifrit, the female. Was it the female? Yes, the female Ifrit, the fire demon type, and it's quite nice. It's nice painting material. It doesn't give like this does when you put a brush on it. Takes paint very nicely, and you can get good results with it. The only drawback I have found with some of these, which they've done with some of the bones as well, they come ready assembled. And for the modeler, it's nice to be able to assemble things yourself, and also not assemble them and paint different bits, and then assemble them and join the paintwork together if you need to. That's always something else that you can do. But yeah, so that's not too bad. So I hope this has answered Dave's question a bit. You do get a bit more detail with the metal, but not a lot. Not a great deal. These things are rather good. So I'll nip off now, take some photos, intersperse these into the video, and hopefully you can see those. And, well, hopefully you've enjoyed it. I haven't really got a lot else to say on that, I don't think. If you have any questions or want to know a few bits and pieces or anything else about the shop, please drop me a line. You can either email, leave a comment, or have a word on the Facebook page. You can also suggest things that you'd like to see in the next video. I mean, this came from Dave. I'm quite happy to have other suggestions. If you want hobby tips and how to do things properly, that's going to be a bit more difficult because I'm not very good at it. But there, we'll see what we can do. And until then, we'll wander off and take some photos. Thank you very much for watching. Like and share if you could. Thank you all for subscribing. I'm not going to do a special offer on this one because only one person took up the special offer on the last one. I'm quite surprised about it. So yes, I'm going to have to look into those for future use. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheerio!